This is Economy Watch, what you need to know about New Zealand's economic life today. Brought to you by interest.co.nz.
Kia ora, and welcome to Tuesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we lead with news of the unavoidable reporting of a Chinese economic stumble. But first up today, we should note that Fed boss Powell was speaking and said the 3 American inflation readings in the June quarter do add somewhat to confidence that the pace of price increases is returning to the Fed's target in a sustainable fashion. There are remarks that suggest interest rate cuts may not be far off for them. In their real economy, the New York Empire State Survey of Factories wasn't particularly positive, although to be fair, it was little changed in June. And expectations in this survey continue to be quite positive, however. Indian goods exports in June were little changed from a year ago at a modest $35 billion, up 2.6% from the same month in 2023. Services exports there rose 8.9%, however. Services exports are about the same value as for goods in India. And China's economy faltered in the second quarter of 2024, keeping alive expectations Beijing will need to unleash even more stimulus. Despite expectations that the Communist Party discipline would press China's second quarter GDP result to the party's target, in fact they published a much lower than expected growth result. The Chinese economy expanded 4.7% in the second quarter, they said, from the same quarter in 2023. Missing market forecasts of a 5.1% rise and slowing from a 5.3% growth in the first quarter. It was the weakest yearly advance since the first quarter of 2023 and comes amid their persistent property downturn, weak domestic demand, a falling yuan and trade frictions with the West. It also comes on the opening days of the party's third plenum, a huge set piece in Chinese policy making. Real reform is not anticipated, however. Underscoring their real estate industry problems, China said new dwelling sales were 25% lower in June than a year ago. New house prices in 70 cities declined by 4.5% year-on-year in June, after a 3.9% equivalent fall in the previous month. It was the 12th straight month of retreat and the fastest pace since June 2015. Only one of those 70 cities recorded a year-on-year rise. None recorded rises for second-hand home sales. Some cities are now recording 12% sales price falls. China also said June retail sales are up 2% from the same month a year ago, up 3% if you exclude car sales. At least this is better than inflation, so it records real gains. And China reported that electricity production rose 2.3% in June from year-ago levels. It is crude, but this may be a better indicator of growth than the official GDP data. Still, they claim industrial production rose 5.3% in June on the same basis. That seems unlikely unless they're making impressively large energy efficiency gains nationwide. The EU reported May industrial production levels, and those fell 2.5% from the same month a year ago, down 2.9% in the euro area. And perhaps we should note that the electrification of the world will require more copper than can be produced, according to a recent report. EV demand to meet 100% net zero by 2050 would need that extra production. But if instead vehicle demand switched to hybrids, there may be enough copper to achieve that goal. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.22% and up 3 basis points from yesterday. And the price of gold will start today up $12 from yesterday at $2,422 an ounce. And oil prices are down 50 US cents, at just on 81.50 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is just under 84.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today sharply lower at 60.8 US cents and down nearly 0.5 cent. Against the Aussie, we're down to 90 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're down to 55.8 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at 69.5 and down 40 basis points from this time yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $63,314 and up 5.4% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has also been high at just on plus or minus 3.2%. You can find links to the articles mentioned today in our show notes, and you can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.